We're marching towards the end of the year, another domino falling in the inexorable trail towards death. I don't like winter, but I do like wrestling most of the time, and while 2022 has often exhibited the worst of wrestlers, it's seen some of the best of wrestling. Some goofy nonsense wrestling, some intense bloody wrestling, some eye-watering wrestling, and some wrestling with demons. We're a week away from Christmas, but I got you your present early this year. I'm Adam, hailing from partsFUNknown, and here are my 10 favorite pay-per-view matches of 2022. Make sure you're subscribed to partsFUNknown for all the rest of our end-of-year content that we've got coming out, because we did loads of end-of-year content last year, and you can check all that out, all the 2021 goodness. We did loads of it last year, and you should check it out, and make sure you subscribe for all of this year's ones. Before we get into today's list, I'd like to take a minute to thank our sponsor for this video, Raid Shadow Legends. Yes, that's right, the hit mobile free-to-play RPG with over 80 million players worldwide is here with a brand new update that lets you play as none other than current SmackDown Women's Champion and UFC legend, Rowdy Ronda Rousey. And no, you're not hearing things. The actual Ronda Rousey is accessible in Raid, complete with lore and backstory that mirrors elements of her own upbringing and path to becoming the baddest woman on the planet, training alongside her 7 brothers, surpassing them before her elite bare fist battle skills became the talk of Karok. Just like in real life. You can get access to Ronda and play as her for free, whether you're a new or existing player, by simply downloading the game, logging in and playing for 7 days between now and February 20th. But wait, there's more. To celebrate Ronda's arrival in Raid, all players who use our promo code RAIDRONDA will earn benefits to help boost your Rowdy one up to compete in PvE or PvP battles. These rewards include a 3-day 100% EXP boost, 500k silver, and 5 full energy refills. So enter RAIDRONDA in-game and claim all these goodies before it's too late. Not only that, there are even more rewards awaiting Amazon Prime members who can redeem exclusive content with an active Prime subscription. And if you're a new player eager to join the fun, there are $30 worth of extra rewards just for you, including a free epic rated champion Burgess, 200k silver, 1 energy refill, 1 XP boost, and 1 ancient shard, so you can summon awesome champions as soon as you get in game. To access these goodies, simply click the promo code below or scan the QR code on the screen right now, available only for the first 30 days of playing. So support partsFUNknown by supporting Raid Shadow Legends and join the raid today. Number 10, The Acclaimed versus Swerve in Our Glory All Out. Everyone loves The Acclaimed, even though they've been saying it for years. In 2022, The Acclaimed truly have arrived, becoming super over in that organic, wholly unplannable way, riding a wave of goofy bollocks, and their white-hot catchphrase checks notes, "Scissor me, daddy ass." A sentence where all the words make sense, just not in that order. Acclaimed and Swerve in Our Glory, the excellent team of my husband Keith Lee and Swerve Strickland, have had 3 matches this year, and all 3 have been brilliant, but the best was their first at All Out, carried by Chicago's feverish euphoria for the very talented and very silly Acclaimed. It's one of those beautiful accident matches where one of the teams is super over and everyone suspects they won't win because that's not the plan, but there are moments where the fans are allowed to truly believe. Pure, undistilled crowd reaction. A total joy. Number 9, MJF versus CM Punk 2 Revolution. Despite the feud running 4 months with Punk's departure from AEW, it looks like we're only going to ever have one MJF versus CM Punk match on pay-per-view. A real shame, as these two had real Joker Batman energy. Still, we got the dog collar match at Revolution, and it's really something to see. I honestly really don't know how good of a match it actually is. It's really long, hard to watch at points, and devolves into basically gruesome slugging, but there's also something simply brilliant about that. And while some death matches are a bloodfest for bloodfest's sake, the hard to watch element in the latter third of this match actually complements the story of the feud really well, where hatred takes both men to the point where no one's right anymore. They're just going to kill each other. CM Punk's AEW run, it was the best of times, it was the blurst of times. Number 8, Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar, SummerSlam. This match shouldn't be on the list, but I can't help myself, it's too daft. I nearly fell off the sofa laughing at some of the parts of this match, and if you don't have time for that in your wrestling, you might be taking the pants biffing a bit too seriously. It's another main event where Roman Reigns wins with the help of the Bloodline, which has accounted for a vast amount of his pay-per-view bouts this year, but also there's a tractor who lifts the ring off the ground, and Brock Lesnar also jumps off the tractor, and they kept trying to kill him, and he refused to be killed, and the match ended with Roman standing on a mountain, and the mountain was mostly made of Brock Lesnar, like all mountains are. When I learned that Brock and Roman were wrestling again, I groaned as loudly as anyone, especially after their Mania match underwhelmed, but hot dog if they didn't end their feud, and they better have ended their feud on a ludicrous car crash high. Number 7, Becky Lynch versus Bianca Belair, WrestleMania 38. This year's WrestleMania may well go down in history as the stupidest WrestleMania of all time, with Steve Austin driving Kevin Owens around the arena on a quad bike in the middle of a main event match somehow. Vince McMahon, air quotes, wrestling, before air quotes, taking an air quotes stunner, and Ronda starting her comeback to WWE as she means to go on, getting derped out with a big boot of all things. But there was some back to basics, honest to goodness, proper wrestling on the show, namely Becky Lynch versus Bianca Belair, which I think might be the best women's match in Mania history. Yeah, even better than Charlotte Asuka. Right time for a title change, right winner, really strong character work, including an accidental moment of brilliance with Bianca taking a stiff boot to the face and working through the rest of the match with one eye. Bianca might just be the EST of WrestleManias at this point. Number 6, The Elite versus the Dark Order, All Out. There have been 2 really good Elite 6-man tag matches on pay-per-view this year. The return match, Full Gear against Death Triangle, was ace, featuring a shocking upset that for me really worked. But for moves and feels, gotta go with the finals of the Trios title tournament at All Out. Omega and the Bucks versus Paige, Reynolds, and Silver. Not only is it the good old hyper wrestling that the Elite have really mastered, but it's also a landmark moment of Adam Page coming face to face with Kenny Omega for the first time since their main event match at Full Gear the year before. That moment where Paige and Omega drag their partners to the corner to tag themselves in is a peach of a spot, and the confrontation absolutely lived up to the hype. It's a real shame that the scrum fallout and subsequent Hangman injury stuttered the storyline momentum for this match, especially considering it was another step in John Silver becoming a breakout star, but the match itself is f***ing gangbusters. Number 5, Orange Cassidy versus Will Ospreay, Forbidden Door. The most fun match at a show designed to be a supercard of fun matches. Will Ospreay is eating Dave Meltzer's stars like they're f***ing gumdrops at this point, and it's hard to argue he's not one of the premier athletes in the business. Orange Cassidy has made a career out of comedy matches where the joke is that OC doesn't go until he goes harder than anyone's ever gone. Both men are incredibly fluid wrestlers, and honestly, they might just have had the most chemistry out of anyone on the Forbidden Door card, and it just goes and goes and goes, counter after counter, kick out after kick out. There's a Stormbreaker into a Hurricane Rana near fall that'll blow your underpants off. It is a total sugar rush of a match, and there's also a bit where Ospreay fishes around in Orange Cassidy's pockets and finds a bird, and I enjoyed that. It made me smile. There's a lot of smiles in this one. Number 4, FTR versus the Briscoes, Final Battle. If I, like Lance Storm, can be serious for a moment, let's talk about some big old proper throwback classic wrestling for grown-ups. FTR may be no fun on Twitter, but they've potentially had the best year that a wrestling tag team has ever had. The rematch with the Bucks on Dynamite, an instant classic against Aussie Open for New Japan. They've had 4 5-star matches in one calendar year. That is unheard of, and it's bloody impressive. And speaking of bloody, their wars with the Briscoes this year have been phenomenal. I'm not really choosing between the 3 matches. You should go and watch all of them, but their most recent double dog collar match at Final Battle is the most recent and most insane. It's as hard hitting as you expect from dem boys. Lord, that bump to the chairs on the outside, with the throwback tag psychology that have made FTR as great as they are. Honestly, explaining the match beyond that would just be listing spots. Check it out today if you haven't. Even the referee bled. Jesus wept. Number 3, Sami Zayn versus Johnny Knoxville, WrestleMania 38. Yes, it's a top 3 match of the year. You f***ing heard me. The enjoyment of a wrestling match can change wildly depending on who you watch it with. I imagine I would have had a worse time with this match if I had to watch it sat next to Jim Cornette, but I think that can be said of A Nice Sunset or anything. However, sat next to Luke Owen, for whom the early 2000s never ended, it was a peak moment in my adult life. I am not a Jackass fan, and I still had a ball watching this match. That's how nakedly fun it was. The pop when Wee Man body slammed Zayn was genuine and huge as the hand that knocked Sami Zayn down at ringside, and boy howdy, that popped us. A real shame that the mousetrap spot didn't quite go to plan. A surprising failure of the apparently normally seamless Jackass engineering, but that still doesn't change the fact this match might just be the match from this year's WrestleMania that I've rewatched the most. This one, of all of them, Sami Zayn is a hero and we do not deserve him. Number 2, fine, I will call him Gunther versus Sheamus, Clash at the Castle. Yes, Gunther having casually another match of the year because no one wrestles like him, and anytime someone comes close to wrestling like him, a match of the year happens. Please, can we have him versus Drew McIntyre in 2023? Thank you. Apparently, we're going to get him versus Brock Lesnar. Now, you've already seen Gunther versus Sheamus, of course you have. It was the match of the night on a very, very good pay-per-view and single-handedly reinvigorated Sheamus' career. First of all, the match gave us Imperium back as a unit, which puts it in the top 3 automatically. You have my gratitude. And then the lads just kick the out of each other. They just kick the out of each other. The opening spot where everyone just brawls around them and Sheamus and Gunther stand there like two dads waiting for the other to discipline their kids first. Genuinely, highlight of my life to not only watch this match in a room full of wrestling fans, but actually call it for the watch party alongside good chums, reacting to every horrendous kick to the face with nervous, overjoyed giggles. A beautiful display of beautiful violence. And number 1, Cody Rhodes versus Seth Rollins, Hell in a Cell. Not only the match of the year, but the best Hell in a Cell match in ages. Not that there haven't been really good cell matches over the past decade, but most of them have just felt like regular hardcore matches inside a box, a series of fun and elaborate table and weapon spots, and then you're done. This is the first time in a long time that a Hell in a Cell match has really felt dangerous because of the unhappy accident of it being actually really fucking dangerous. A few days before, Cody Rhodes tore his pec in the gym and still went on to wrestle a Hell in a Cell match anyway, like a true and unapologetic madman. And they didn't dance around the injury either. Rollins zeroes in on it, repeatedly hitting him in his real injury to sensational heat. Most underdog babyface stories feel forced and corny. This was real and created a really strange and unique experience of fearful dread and earnest support watching it. One that you don't necessarily wish to be inflicted on wrestlers or wrestling fans, but you do have to recognize how powerful it is to experience a wrestling match that felt unreal in how real it felt. And the performance of the year from Cody Rhodes, he's a fucking hero. Bravo forever. And that's our list. What's been your favourite pay-per-view match of 2022? Let us know in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe to partsFUNknown for more silly wrestling content. And never forget to jam that jam. And Merry Christmas.